joined now by one of our favorites, and Mike Bailey. He's been a long time coach, and we appreciate the time and the opportunity to hop on Running Point today and talk a little bit about your new home in Canfield soccer.
Yeah, always great to be on. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Coach, I mean, like I was talking with Anthony about before you came on, this is a Canfield program that's not a stranger to success. They've had, I believe, 9 winning seasons in the last 11, so they've been there. They've done that. What do you think you can offer and bring to this program? And with saying that, too, why don't we get a chance to meet the team this year?
Sure. So, pure excitement for me. This is a great group of kids. When I took over in February and the first time I got to watch the boys play together, I knew we had some really, really solid pieces and could put together a nice season. Asking them to play very differently than what they have in the past. We're going to possess the ball a little bit more. We're going to work it around the field a little bit more and create some openings to let our talent on the attacking side of the ball really, really focus and flourish there. As far as like a preview for the team, we've got some really, really good players, and I'm excited for them. They're going to have some great years. Pretty much our starting lineup, we're not fully set there. And it's like I always tell my boys, we are constantly, every position is always open. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. If you perform and you prove that you're the best to play that position, I'm going to put that best 11 out on that field. Starting up top this year, well, let me start with our captains, basically. We've got 4 captains, all player coach vote here. Center defensive mid, center midfielder Ben Kovac, left back Landon Palazzi, goalkeeper Ali Shalash, and Ethan Malachek, Jr. All 4 of those guys have been, since I took over, they've been guys that I've counted on, and I was happy to see them voted captain. There's some other guys that absolutely could have been voted captain. I would have been through the roof excited about as well. But we just got a really great group of boys that are working hard. And it's top to bottom. It doesn't matter if you're the most talented or you're one of the guys that's really developing at the moment. Everybody's busting their butt at training every day and trying to get better. And I'm very demanding, just pushing them. And they're taking it all in and just being great about me demanding from them, but also realizing that it's coming from a place of love and a place of care and a place where I want us as a program to really succeed, because I feel we have the talent to have a real strong season. We've got a brutal schedule that's in there as well, but that's the fun of it. I'll take a game where it's 2-1 either way over winning 6-7-0 against some of these games, because you don't get much out of that. But when you're in a battle, whether you win that battle or you lose that battle, you take something from it, and it's a great thing for us, and I'm excited to showcase this team and get started on Saturday here.
Coach, when this job opened up, what were some of the things that made you just say, I have to take this opportunity? I have to make sure that, I put my hat in the ring for this opportunity to coach this team?
Well, it was a little bit of a different scenario. I wasn't looking to leave Salem where I was last year. I was proud of what we were building there, and there was a great group of players and coaches and parents and administrators. And Canfield kind of reached out to me to see if I would have an interest. And, I saw it as a challenge for myself. The All-American Conference is probably the best conference in our area, and it's loaded with other great coaches. And I saw it as an opportunity to really test myself, to go up against, some of the best in our area, twice a year, and just really put forth my knowledge and the way that I do things and see how it stacks up against some of the best. Canfield's a top-notch, as somebody who's a first year there, whenever you heard you were playing Canfield, you knew you were in for a battle. You were going to go, and it was going to be a team that played really hard and played the game really well. And their players always have been talented. And it was something that really intrigued me. And when they reached out, and I talked to Travis Ziegler, who was one of the head coaches with me last year for Salem, talked to my father and some other people that I really, really trust, and thought long and thought hard about it, and ultimately decided, when they offered me the job, that this was the right move for me to make.
Last year at Salem, you were doing something that really there was no blueprint for, coaching 2 teams at once, and you did a very good job at that. How much did you learn from that experience that you take into now, this new challenge? I mean, that had to be something that you probably took a lot away from.
There was a ton that took away from it. And it wasn't all me last year. There was also Travis Ziegler and Kent Paulini were the other head coaches. We had like kind of that tri-head coaching system going. But it was definitely a learning experience, and there were some things in there that were fantastic and unexpected. And then of course there's some road bumps along the way, just like there is whether you're coaching one team or two teams or whatever it may be. But there was a lot learned there. More so, one of the things I think that lacked for us last year was our ability to really have film and break it down. Like, don't get me wrong, we have film, we broke it down and whatnot, but we didn't have the film sessions like we wanted to, I think. And we were just so busy. And that was one of the hardest things for us. It was just constantly on the go. And don't get me wrong, I'll cherish last year forever. Being able to do that and do it with Travis and just have a really great experience on both the boys' side and the girls' side. Both of those programs are going to have really great seasons this year as well. I'm excited for them. We actually, on the boys' side, we just scrimmaged Salem. I think it was last weekend. Yeah, last weekend on the 6th. We had a scrimmage with them, and it was a good, hard scrimmage. Both teams playing hard. And it was kind of like a proud moment for me. I got to see my former team playing at a high level, and I got to see my current team playing at a high level. It was a lot of fun.
Now, Coach, I mean, you brought on players last year too, and I mean, you've always been good at developing these leaders within these systems too, or at least showing them the paths too. How do you continue to develop all these players into leaders, but not run into a situation of having too many captains, not enough crew situation?
The biggest thing with high school kids, and this could go at youth level, college, et cetera, is you got to show them that you care about them, and you got to mean it. High school boys, they'll read right through you if you're not sincere. And, one of the biggest things I take in is like, I want them to know that I love and care about them, and I want success for us. And that's why I'm so demanding from you on the practice field. And we have, little rules and things like that pertain to the game. Like, for instance, the Canfield boys, we have a no swearing rule, which I'm sure most teams do, because you swear on the field, you're getting a yellow card. And you're punishing your own team because you have a lack of control. And I don't do well with that. So they've taken that in, and then, like no jewelry. Like they all have their jewelry on in practice. We've made that like, hey, boys, you can't wear it in a game. Take it off beforehand. You know what I mean? So just little things that we try to do to set ourselves up to be successful on match day. We try to, start that on the training field and then carry it on over. But it's just showing love. Showing them that you care about them, showing that you're interested in them, talking to them about things that have nothing to do with soccer, having little side conversations, letting them know that you do care. You're there for them, and I'll have your back in any scenario. You know what I mean? Even if we do the right thing or do the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing. There's a saying that I'm sure you've heard: play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And sometimes you gotta take that in, and it is what it is there. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to love you and care about you. I'm going to be right there. We'll talk about it. We'll get through it. But I still care about you.
And all that goes into instilling the culture that you want into this program. When you kind of hit the ground running with these boys and got to see them for the first time, got to kind of get them into your philosophy for the first time, what were some of the most important things that you wanted to instill first and foremost about your culture and your coaching philosophy?
Just a team atmosphere. That's the most important thing. There is nothing that comes before the team. Nothing. The boys they want to win. They've all, like, I've had multiple kids tell me, when we were going through the process of figuring players out, where they played previously, where they might fit for us. And several of them, like, where'd you play last year? And they're like, oh, I played in the middle, but I'll sit on the bench if it means we're going to win. Those kind of things. Like, there's a lot of unselfish players here. And on top of it, we don't have a lot of varsity experience returning. We have 2 starters returning, and I want to say 5 or 6 lettermen at most, but they graduated a huge class of 12 guys last year. 9 of those guys were starters, had a phenomenal year. So when you've got 9 starters and 12 seniors in total, and they're taking up a lot of that playing time, what I see is I have a really, really hungry team right now. I have guys that have been waiting years to get their chance to play on a varsity field, and now here's their opportunity. And, I've got a lot of guys seizing that opportunity, and it's a lot of fun to watch develop. But as far as that culture goes, it's all about the team. It's all about us playing for the crest and playing for each other and making sure that on match day, it's 11 working as one and 36 in total working as one on the outside of it there.
And I mean, you look at this program too. Did you feel any pressures going into a program like this, knowing the success that has been established in the last 10 years and trying to uphold it?
I mean, there's always pressure with that, but I love that. Like, give me that pressure. I mean, when I took over South Range, they were coming off of playing in the state final. You know what I mean? So there's no pressure there for me because I believe in what I do and I believe in the players that I have. It's so, Canfield being a traditional powerhouse, like that excites me. Like, I want to be a part of that. I'm not worried about not living up to standards or anything like that because I firmly believe that the boys that we have and the coaching staff that I have and the way that we run things, we will be successful much sooner than later.
And then you look at this Canfield community that you're now a part of, and the coaches that you have around you, not just with the soccer coach on the other end who's pretty successful in his own right, but also, it seems like every athletic department has a coach that has been successful with their program. What's it kind of like to kind of meet all these new coaches and try to be a part of this new coaching community and this new athletics community that you have there at Canfield?
It's awesome. Phil Simone, the girls' coach at Canfield, has been fantastic. Phil coached the boys for a really, really, really long time, and was both the boys and girls' coach. I want to say he did that for almost a decade, where he coached both the boys and girls. But Phil has been a huge help for me. Nothing but positivity. He and I talk quite often, trying to get things, figured out and just questions that I have that, Phil, I believe he's at year 29 right now at Canfield. And so what better way to go to somebody for some advice than Phil Simone? And I'm not the type of coach that will, I'm not afraid to ask somebody like, hey, what'd you see here? Things like that. And, he's worrying about his own team and all that. But just being at Canfield has been a really great experience. Like we had a preseason tournament in Strongsville that a lot of teams go to from all over. There's teams from Indiana, Michigan, PA. It's a great little preseason tournament. And unfortunately, I was sick, and one of my assistant coaches was sick, and we were not able to be there. And my athletic director, Mike Cochran, stepped up, and he took the boys, and he was there on the sidelines with them for both the varsity and the JV all weekend long, Saturday and Sunday, for 5 matches in total on each side. And so to have your athletic director go step up for you and be there for your team when you physically couldn't, it meant a lot to me as a coach, and I knew I was in the right place. I mean, it was without doubt. Like as I was telling him what was going on, and he's like, "Well, I'll take the boys." And there's not many athletic directors out there that would do that for us, and it was great to see, and I was incredibly appreciative of it.
And I mean, you're going to go into this team, and like we said, this schedule should be fun to see how much it's going to be a challenge for this Canfield team. We have little doubt that you guys aren't going to have plenty of success to come with this season. But let's get a chance, though, to meet this coaching staff that we're going to see on this Canfield Cardinals team this year.
Sure. So what's awesome about my coaching staff, and I've been very, very fortunate along the way, all across the board. I've never had an assistant coach besides my father, who is not assistant coach with me on this team, but he was with me at South Range and when I was at Carrollton for a season. But all my assistant coaches are former players of mine. And so that trust is massively there. My JV head coach is Christian Abrick. Christian was at South Range with me. He was one of the captains on our state Final Four run. Christian is a really young guy with a really bright future in coaching if he wants to be a part of it. He has done a great job just getting to know the boys, being a part. And it's Christian's only 21 years old. And so to have somebody that young that can still relate with the boys a little bit more than I can at 38, it's important to have that. And he knows my system. He knows exactly what's expected. He knows what it needs to be done at training. He knows the standard that I hold people to. And just to know that on that other end of practice where the JVs are practicing, I've got somebody down there that knows exactly what I'm looking for. It's huge. I've also brought on Ryan Benson, who was with me for 4 years at South Range. Ryan's a volunteer coach. His travel schedule for work kind of really interferes with him being there a lot, but when he's there, he's coaching, and the boys know that I trust him, so they can trust him. And then lastly, we just brought on a coach, Brad Larson. Brad was a player of mine at Salem, phenomenal player. He has not yet quite joined us because we brought him on quite late. It was like a last-second thing, so we're still waiting for some certificates and his pupil activity permit to be done here. So we're waiting on a state on that end. But as soon as that gets cleared through, he's going to be with us, and Brad's going to be a phenomenal coach to add into things. He is got, I believe, 2 years experience with the Salem girls before I was a coach on that side. So he brings some knowledge to it. And like I said, all three of these guys are former players of mine, and I am in a really, really great spot with assistant coaches. I'm excited about it.
Coach, before we let you go, I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but last year when we had you on, you gave us a nugget, which is stay even. It's one of your taglines, I guess I could say. And we used it throughout the whole school year. We were just, hey, anytime we were talking about a team or a successful team, we said, hey, got to stay even, just like Coach Bailey said. So this year, I want to see if you got any other new nuggets that we can kind of refresh, a Mike Bailey nugget that we can use throughout the whole school year. Any more nuggets?
The stay even's going to be there forever. I'm sorry,
I
can't bring anything new to the table because that's my go-to, and it covers so much that it stays, and it'll be every single year. Stay even will be a part of my teams because the teams that have really bought into it, I think it's helped immensely. Like just a matter of controlling our emotions because it's such an emotional game. All sports are; they're all emotional, but to have that scenario and just yell out, stay even, and then the boys know exactly what you're talking about. It helps bring them back to an even keel, and then we're just ready to roll. So I'm sorry I don't have something new for you, but I promise you that stay even one's a great one.
In that stay even quote too, was that some advice that was given to you? And if not, what is some of the best advice that was given to you that you've taken as a coach and you've really used?
That was given to me by my college soccer coach, Michael McBride at Notre Dame College. Mac, that's what his name was. We called him Mac. Mac was the guy that kind of just opened my eyes to the game of soccer. I learned more in one season of playing for him than I learned my entire life up to that point in the game of soccer. And it's where like my love for the English Premier League started and just playing with guys from all over the world and stuff like that. But stay even's honestly the best advice I ever got. And I've just kind of, he preached it, and I've kind of taken it and added some more to it just on my own there. But it is that's the mantra. That's the best advice I've ever received, and it's helped me immensely from a coaching standpoint. It's helped my players, and it's something that I apply in my personal life too. It's helped me kind of relax a little bit and kind of take things as what they are and go from there.
Coach, thank you so much for the time to help us preview this Canfield boys soccer team. We know you're excited for the challenge. We're excited to cover you all season. We look forward to having you on again throughout the year, and good luck. And thank you again for the time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's always appreciated to come on, and always look forward to it. You guys do a phenomenal job. Keep up the great work, and we'll see you down the line.